All right, guys, so we're going to go over, let me open up a new one. This is going to be for our Magic 8 Ball that we're going to end up working a couple times on through a couple different iterations. So Magic 8 Ball, if you guys have ever played with one, you ask it a question and it's going to give you a response. Say something like the outlook does not look good, something like that. Let's see. Let's pull that up. Magic 8 Ball. Okay. This is a Magic 8 Ball. You have a number of different choices. I want you to go with 10 different choices. Okay. So in here, you're going to end up having 10 different choices. And your choices can be different. You know, it doesn't have to be the same. It could be, you know, something like outlook doesn't look good. You're the man. I mean, you can make up these, but you're going to do, that sounds awesome. You're going to end up doing them. 5 of them are going to be positive. 5 of them are going to be negative. 5 positive and 5 negative. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to use the input from the user and a number that they give you, between 1 and 100. 1 and 100. Okay, so you're going to take that input. You're going to print it out, and with that number, you're going to write a bunch of if statements using Boolean to test if that number is within certain things. So 0 to 10 will be a certain response. 11 to 20 will be a certain response. 21 to 30 will be another response. 31, so on and so forth, okay, will be a certain response. And you're going to go all the way up to 100. And so when they give you that number, it's going to spit out what that phrase is. And you're going to end up having if-then statements dealing with all of them, giving a different response that you're printing out. So this should be a pretty fun, quick one to do. Okay, so just to review how we are creating a project, we go to GitHub, we click the plus sign for creating a new repository, and we're going to call this one Magic 8 Ball, and we're going to end up working on this one. Oops, no spaces. Magic 8 Ball. This is my Magic 8 Ball repo. Okay. And we're just going to go ahead and create it. We don't need to do a README or anything because it's automatically going to get done. All right, first thing that pops up when we see here, we see this link. We're going to copy it. We're going to go to Get Kraken. We're going to go here to clone this repo. We're going to clone. We want to choose where we want to clone to. You guys are using your Z drive, Z drive, Z drive, okay? You're going to go to your CP1 projects. You're going to select that folder and you're going to paste that URL. It's going to now create another folder called Magic 8 Ball. You're going to go ahead and clone that repo. That's it. We're going to want to open it, and then it's going to say we need to initialize. We're going to do that. Okay? We still didn't create the project yet. All we did is just set up so we can share everything. We're now going to go to our IntelliJ, and we're going to go up to File, New Project. Okay, we want to make sure that we're selected in Java, not any of these other ones, Java. You don't need to change your SDK because you already have it set up. We're not doing anything from a template, so that means you're going to have to create it, and you're going to call this Magic 8 Ball. Okay, and then you are selecting the project location that was already created. I'm doing this in documents because I'm on a local computer. You are doing this in your Z drive or you're going to lose it. Okay, make sure you're selecting the right folder. Yep, we want to do it in this window. Now it's loading. We have nothing in here. So if I'm looking, is it Alt1? If I'm looking, I have nothing. I don't have a source folder or anything. To start off, you guys are going to right click on the source folder and you're going to create a new Java class. That one you're going to go ahead and you're going to call Magic 8Ball. Okay. Now you have that class. We don't need to have it manage and forget because we're using getKraken. And you're going to have to create your main class. So public static void main string square brackets args, and then you got to start with the curly brackets. Okay, your code goes in here. Code goes in here. A lot of times I see you guys writing code here, and then you just click down here and you have more code here. This is where errors come because you're doing it after the bracket. If you want it not to error, you're going to end up having to do it here. It's helpful for you guys to start putting comments in explaining what your code is doing. Remember, you guys are writing code for others to be able to read it and for you to look at it a while after you have written it. Okay, so make sure that your variables are meaningful and they make sense. You know that you are going to end up having to use a scanner, so scanner, and I'm just calling it keyboard, but it could literally be called anything. Keyboard, and we want to import it. Okay, and then we are going to end up having our variables because this is kind of like our declare phase. So we want to have an int, and let's say we're going to call it the, let's just call it value, and that's the value that you're testing. And then int, and you're going to call this one testing. And then you're going to end up having to have their int and their, or not an int, string, and this is going to be the input that they gave you. Probably question would be better. Then you're going to have to do your initialization phase, which is going to implement values for this. So my int value is going to be, actually, you probably don't need to use that int value when you're designing this because you're just going to be testing if this int testing number, if that's between certain numbers. So you're going to have a whole bunch of if-then statements. You're going to get the input from them, what their question was. You're going to end up printing out what their question was and then the answer. Okay? All right, so have fun with this project.